Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
It is a glimmer of hope for San Diegans as we begin to head into hot weather. Cities along our county's coastline have a plan in place to reopen their beaches. That is, as soon as they get the green light from health officials. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with people who are anxious to get back in the water.
The once vibrant beach life has disappeared along San Diego County. When the pandemic hit, cities along the shore began closing their coastline.
I think surfing is kind of the same as like somebody going on a run or riding their bike.
Cameron Ahmad is a surfer that's been missing his waves.
It's kind of unfortunate that the people that live by the beach can't go out there and get some exercise.
This couple, both surfers, say many of their friends have gone through great lengths to get back in the water.
Just like we know people going up to Doheny and all that now to be able to go surf. Like they are doing whatever they can to get in the water.
But not them, saying a road trip would increase their risk for exposure to COVID-19.
It's kind of what everyone's saying, we'll open our local beaches, and that way I don't have to drive an hour away.
At a news conference Wednesday, mayors of coastal cities unveiled their phased plan for reopening beaches. The first phase opens them in a limited capacity, allowing for running and walking along shores, but not sitting or lying down. The bays would be open to boating and single-person paddling. The ocean will be open to all activities, including surfing. Phase 2 would open boardwalks, piers, and parking lots and allow for more activities as long as people practice social distancing. As for when, they're looking to health officials for that. Some people feel sooner would be okay when it comes to things like surfing.
I guarantee you every surfer in the water will be at least 6 feet apart if that's all it takes to be able to get out there.
Others say as badly as they want to get back in, they can be patient to put safety first.
They're telling us to exercise in your mental health, and how many people use surfing as their mental health. So it's kind of, I feel like a fine line between mental health and safety. They're both really important things.
Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Now, much of this depends on testing, and our county leaders say that they are working to figure out how much testing capability we will eventually need to begin rolling back the public health orders. While testing is slowly increasing, we are still a long way away from being able to test everyone who is showing symptoms here in San Diego. Being able to widely test is important to ensure people who return to work are safe to do so. Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says there's a task force working on that testing issue.
We're going to continue to work to firm up what we believe our San Diego daily capacity should be as a goal. And that would be a goal not just for capacity for tests, but all of the various pieces that go along with the test. The personnel, the PPE, the swabs, everything that makes a test become a reality to ensure that whatever that daily goal is one that we can achieve each and every single day.
And testing is just one of the criteria set by the governor to help dictate when it's safe to end the stay-at-home order. So here are the latest local numbers. To date, the county is reporting almost 2,500 cases. There are 57 new cases reported from yesterday. The county also announced that 9 more people have died. That brings our local death toll to 96. But county officials do estimate more than 1,400 people have recovered from this virus. Lawmakers from coast to coast are battling over when to reopen the country. My co-anchor Kimberly Hunt is joining us from home. And Kim, there are some concerns over easing stay-at-home restrictions a little too soon.
Sure are, Steve. In fact, the U.S. is really far from reaching the point where the battle with the coronavirus is over. Right now, 841,000 cases are confirmed in our country. 47,000 people have lost their lives. And as ABC's Marcy Gonzalez tells us, there are governors in some states that are ready to open things back up. But even that decision now has them pitted against President Trump and Republican governors.
As the death toll from COVID-19 climbs in this country, but the number of new cases in some areas stabilizes, several states moving to reopen businesses. In Georgia, the governor defending his controversial decision to let places like gyms, bowling alleys, salons, and tattoo parlors to start operating again on Friday.
And listen, if people don't want to go, Martha, they don't have to.
I told the governor very simply that I disagree with his decision, but he has to do what he thinks is right.
No plans to relax restrictions in New York, where they saw more than 1,300 new hospital admissions in just 24 hours. Stay-at-home orders remaining in place in California, too, but the governor announcing scheduled surgeries can now resume. Officials there also revealing 2 people in Santa Clara who had not traveled overseas died from COVID-19 in February, weeks before the first reported American death, raising questions about how long the virus has been in the U.S.
We've actually directed beyond just Santa Clara, go back as far as December to request coroner's autopsy to dig even deeper.
And new insight into who is most vulnerable to COVID-19. The first large study in the U.S. by the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research shows of more than 5,000 people with the virus with underlying conditions, 57% had high blood pressure, and most who died were men. And now new reports of more animals contracting the virus, including 3 more tigers and 3 lions at the Bronx Zoo. 2 pet cats in New York State also testing positive. One in a home where the owner also had COVID-19, the other in a home with no confirmed cases.
There's no evidence that the virus is transmitted from a pet to a human. Now, obviously, is that impossible? I mean, biologically, anything is possible.
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And if you are sick, the CDC recommends that you have someone else take care of your pet. And if that's not at all possible, they just say to avoid close contact. Now, in this household, that would be a very tough thing to do, but we would try.
I know that you love your Monaco, Kim. All right, thank you.
This violates her constitutional rights to freely petition her government.
The woman who organized the downtown protest over the weekend is calling for an end to the stay-at-home order, could be facing charges. San Diego police have confirmed that they have filed a request with the city's attorney's office requesting charges. Our 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to that woman and her attorney, who both say she did nothing wrong.
Naomi Israel Soria says she wasn't surprised when she got a call from the San Diego Police Department.
They spoke with me 3 separate times at my rally, and they let me know that I was breaking health commissioner's rules.
Soria organized the so-called Freedom Rally over the weekend in downtown, calling for an end to the stay-at-home order.
I'm just exercising my constitutional God-given rights.
Soria says the police asked to speak to her over the phone on Tuesday. The Center for American Liberty agreed to represent her. Her attorney, Mark Moisier.
She's not the sole person who organized it. She didn't know everybody. Not everybody knew who she was.
San Diego police confirmed to 10 News they have submitted an investigation to the city attorney's office requesting charges be issued for what they feel is a violation of the county health order, saying the organizer encouraged on social media for this gathering to happen. Soria feels she was singled out.
They go after a young woman who has no area of law, who is not educated on all of these things, and they single me out thinking that I do not know how to protect myself.
Her attorney thinks it's a violation of her constitutional rights.
Is these public health officials have crossed the line from using their bully pulpit to recommend to where they're actually depriving you of your constitutional rights.
Soria says she's planning another protest on Sunday in Pacific Beach. She says she's not worried about getting sick.
Every single day that we open our eyes, it is not promised. And I can't live my life in fear, and I refuse to live my life in fear.
Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
There are currently coronavirus cases on 26 Navy warships. The Navy is not releasing the names of the ships that have been impacted or the exact number of cases because of security concerns. But we do know that there are at least 710 cases on the San Diego-based USS Theodore Roosevelt, which is docked in Guam. And we're still waiting to hear if the captain, who was fired after warning about the outbreak on his ship, will be reinstated. Coronado is foregoing its fireworks show this 4th of July. In fact, all Independence Day events are canceled. That includes the parade, the 12K run, and the art in the park. The city says there's just not enough time to get the equipment needed to regulate social distancing. The fate of the San Diego Big Bay Boom fireworks show, that is still up in the air. Another huge convention scheduled for July in San Diego has also been canceled. The ESTRI Global Mapping Conference announced today Its planning gathering in July will be done virtually instead. The conference generates more than $50 million for the local economy. The announcement, of course, comes on the heels of both Comic-Con and San Diego Pride canceling their huge events in July as well.